This is the Big Friendly Swim podcast, and I'm the Big Friendly host. And today's guests are the team lead and one of the assistant coaches for the Team USA coaching staff for the 2026 FISU America Games. Molly and Ryan, how are you guys?
Hello.
Hi, we're
Happy to
doing
be here.
well.
So, just to get things kicked off here, tell me about the coaching selection process. Like, when did you, what got the ball rolling for both of you to be a part of this team?
Yeah, so I'll kick it off. It was kind of a unique process. So similar to, I don't know if you remember World University Games back in Chengdu a few years ago. USA Swimming passed on the opportunity to send a national team, and so it got selected by Uni USA. They're the oversight for any of the other World University Games, the FISU Games, if USA Swimming doesn't send anyone. So they reached out. My head coach at Oakland was the one who was like, "Hey, I think this would be a really great opportunity." And that's how I got in contact, started reaching out to the event planner kind of there, and really solidified that I was going to take on team lead. Dave Rollins was going to take on head coach, and then Ryan was going to come out as an assistant coach. And I've known Ryan for a couple of years, so it was really exciting that we get to work together in this capacity.
Yeah, it was pretty cool getting that call. Molly and I, we probably talk at least once a month, if not more, and it's just been great to build that relationship, and love seeing her career take off as it has, and her doing great stuff. And it was a huge honor for me to get that call. And I was on the 18 under national team back in high school, and it's always been a lifelong goal to represent the red, white, and blue again in an international stage, on an international stage. And so I'm just blessed and thankful that get the opportunity to do that again.
Tell me about like what you're hoping that prospective athletes who are seeing these announcements and seeing the nominations opening up. Tell me about what you're hoping for these prospective athletes and what you're hoping to find in athletes that are nominated.
I think the biggest thing is like this meet has a lot of opportunity. The door is wide open. We do have some time standards that we're looking for athletes to meet, but I think it gives people that wouldn't always be on that national stage some elite international experience, and to represent Team USA is a really exciting and big deal. So for us, as these nominations open up, we're looking for people who are passionate about swimming, passionate about representing Team USA, and passionate about, being able to represent their programs at the same time.
Yeah, a lot of our conversations have been revolving around, that this isn't a huge international year in the swimming world, and so there's a lot of opportunities for people, especially who are maybe just on the cusp of making a national team, or maybe people who want to add that to their resume for when they're trying to make the national team, or some people who maybe are a little bit further off the national team and they're like, hey, this is a great opportunity for me to get to go represent my country, and this is something that I want to do. So I think that where we have a great opportunity is to cast a really wide net, and hopefully get some great student athletes who are deserving, and that's a lot of the message that we want to send to the coaches too. Like, hey, send us your hardest workers, send us your most deserving athletes, the people who are going to represent your school and our country with pride.
Now, and I know I already put a post about this, but just for like redundancy's sake, if somebody's watching this or listening to this and hasn't seen the post yet, could you talk about some of those eligibility requirements of like the most important things that like you have to have this to even be eligible to be nominated?
Yeah, I think like the easy kind of bullet point ones is being a U.S. citizen. The other one being you have to be a current student athlete or have graduated within the last calendar year, hold a valid passport, and then really on top of that is hitting at least two of the time standards, just so that we know we have options to pick from for events. And then as well as relays, there's a lot of different relays. We've got mixed relays going on. So there's a lot of opportunities for not only individual events, but for people to contribute on relays. So those are kind of a few of the bullet point ones.
Yeah, and I'll follow that up, piggyback off of that. We wanted to kind of, I guess, market it in a little bit of a different way, not just like us going and, picking one person here, one person there, one person here. The reason why we decided to do it as a nomination process, whether it's a coach nomination or a self-nomination, we wanted people to have the opportunity to do both. But we really wanted coach investment in this meet. We really want the college coaches to understand that this is a really valuable experience for your athletes, and we're here to help give them that big stage experience. It works really, really well within the season, in the long course season as well. That's around the time of a lot of championships. So it's not going to be like a different rest. It's not going to be a different taper or anything like that. We're not doing some big training camp. We're going down. We're going to acclimate a couple days, and we're going to race. And so, as opposed to just like pick one here, pick one here, pick one here, we really wanted investment from the people who were helping us build this team, which is everybody across the country. And we want everybody to know how special that is to us to have your investment as well.
I think you pointed out really well the timing of the meet being the 24th to the 26th in July is a really good time, because like most end of summer championship meets are around that time. It also seems like a really nice venue. That they hosted 2019 Pan American Games in Lima, Peru, and then they're set to host it again next year. Which I say next year, and it's insane to me that next year is already a year before the Olympics. I'm like, I had to do a double take when I'm like, wait, next year is 2027.
Yes, the 2019 seems closer than the 2027, but it's
Yeah.
really not.
I'm like, in my head, 2019 is like, oh, that was only a few years ago, but it was like 7 years ago. Oh, God.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really well timed. I think that that's a benefit that we have. Of course, it's not like, hey, we're asking your athletes to go in the middle of a season, and you're changing your whole season plan to be around this. It's around a lot of championship time, and just chance for some of these kids to get on the international stage and get that experience.
And hopefully we'll see some of them there in 2027 at the Pan American Games. I think, again, it's an opportunity. We saw it at when Uni USA also helped host the World University Games. So I think this is another opportunity for someone to shine and hopefully have a really great breakthrough and potentially be on that team in the future.
Honestly, I've always wished that the U.S. hosted or like put more focus, I guess, on like quote unquote minor international competitions, because I feel like they only serve to help development of like our Olympic team on the international stage. Like there's so many Olympians and so many people who got their start on a Pan American Games team, on a World University Games team. But on the flip side, I do think it is cool that like this opens it up to more people, to somebody who wouldn't necessarily like qualify at a trial selection meet. I do think it is cool that it opens up to more people, and the time standards are, off the top of my head, I think just like a touch slower than trials, or like a few tenths slower across the board. So like there should be a decent amount of people who qualified for like 2024 Olympic trials who could be contenders here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's
100%. We've had, oh, go ahead. Sorry, bub.
oh I the number one question I've been getting, and I think that you bringing up Pan Ams and WUGs is a really important segue to this. Like a lot of people are like, what are the FISU games? And so the way that I've been describing this to people, it is the WUGs version of Pan Ams. So it is Pan Ams for college student only. So I think that that's kind of an important point to clear up, because I know even the first time I was like, hold on, what is this? Like, and then
I'm so glad you brought it up, because even when I was like typing out like the post, I was like, I had to look it up, and
Yeah.
I pretty immediately got the like, oh okay, it's just World University Games, but for Pan American countries, like, but I'm glad you brought it up, and I was definitely gonna bring it up at some point, but yeah, I did a double take when I was making the post. I'm like, hold on.
And it's a relatively new meet. This is, I believe, the fourth time that they've hosted it. And so, another exciting, cool opportunity about this is like we're going to build a great, fast team. And this is only going to make the meet better and larger for future years to come, where, this opportunity may look different in years to come when, it might be selections and not nominations. So, this meet is still young and it's new. And I think we really have a great opportunity here to bring a really strong showing of athletes and be able to come out of that meet with, hopefully a lot of medals.
And now
Yeah.
you coached on the World University Games team a few years ago, and I'm wondering if you could talk about like your experience coaching there and like what you learned and how that's affected your approach to building the team here.
I didn't coach on the World
Oh, sorry.
University Games.
Oh, my
That is
mistake. Sorry.
A-okay. We sent two athletes there. I had just gotten hired at
Oh,
Oakland, but yes,
I understand.
I knew a lot of the staff that was organizing it. So that was part of the reason why I ended up in this role was just because of the experience from the coaches that I knew who went to World University Games and had a great experience. And, they're all coaching at big time schools, which is really exciting to see.
Okay, I understand. I'm sorry, that was my mistake.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that getting to network and getting to know these awesome people, awesome coaches around the country that just want to see swimming get better as a sport and want to see the kids develop and the coaches develop, and to see these opportunities getting passed to other coaches is really cool. And I mean, this meet is it's going to be a lot of fun. Like, you know, you have to dig a little bit to find the information that you need, but like there's going to be an athlete village, there's going to be, transportation to and from the meet. Like it is like legit big time athletics, and it's not just swimming. It's there's wrestling and there's powerlifting and there's a whole bunch of other sports. There's an opening ceremonies, there's a closing ceremonies, which we're gonna be there in time to go to the opening ceremonies. We might even have a day that we can go watch another event or something like that. So to watch some of the best in collegiate athletes in North and South America is a pretty dang cool experience, if you ask me. And I think that if you're one of those people, especially that like is aspiring to be on a national team, and you want to get your leg up, and you don't want your first competition to be, Pan Am's or Worlds, and you want to like, hey, I'm gonna use this meet so I can know what it feels like, I can know what the atmosphere is like, I can know what the pressure and the expectations are like. I just think that we're in just such a unique and a cool position to give people all of that, so they can like take that and take themselves to the next level.
An interesting question just came to mind to me. I know you guys mentioned that it's student athletes. Um, See, I swam at a community college, and in California, community colleges have 2 years. I'm curious. Does the student athletes marker does that mark to just anybody who swims for a college team? So would that include junior colleges and community colleges if they hit the
I
qualifying
think it's
times, obviously? And
Yeah, the nominations are open, so I mean anyone can realistically apply, and or if those times hit the qualifying standards, and if they're still within that graduating time period, so you can have been 1 year removed since graduating. So if they're more than 1 year removed from that, then that's when things start to change. But nominations are open to all student athletes.
okay, cool. It came to mind because I feel like most of the time people hear college student athletes and they think D1, D2, D3, NAIA. Um, That was just my own curiosity coming out. Um,
Yeah.
I think that's about everything I had like to cover with you guys. But I really want to make sure that I've given you as much opportunity as possible to promote this and to promote the fantastic work you're doing. So if there's anything that I've missed, please, now's the time.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I think
think.
Bub has hit it.
Go ahead, Molly.
I was just going to say, I think Bub has hit it on the head. This is, again, just such an exciting opportunity for, student athletes in the US that, maybe they're going to go to other meets still. But again, it's perfect timing of the summer, getting preparation for, trying to hit Olympic trials times once they come out in the fall. All of those exciting things. Like it's just more preparation for a very exciting race and to be able to do it in Peru in a great facility with again a coaching staff that is invested and cares. It's going to be really exciting. We'll get down there a little bit early, do opening ceremony, and then we'll really have almost 4 days that we're able to adjust and train. Time zone doesn't change too much, so like we should be ready to go on the 24th and have some fast swims.
Yeah, I think it's really important to note as coaches are making nominations or athletes are making self-nominations, which again we encourage both. Um, the hurdle for some may be that there is a cost associated with going to the meet, which is across the board. So it's $2,100 to go, and that gets you 6 nights in the athlete village. That gets you all of your meals and the transportation while you're in Peru. Um, and then on top of that is the cost to fly there as well. So we haven't decided yet if we'll do team travel or if we'll meet everybody down there and get that figured out. I know that can be a big hurdle for a lot of individuals, a lot of programs. We've heard everything from, hey, we're gonna find a donor to sponsor this student athlete to go to this meet, and then some student athletes are like, this is one of the coolest opportunities I've ever heard of. I don't really care if I get a donor. I don't care if I have to take out a loan. I'm going to go to this meet. So we've had like a wide array of ability in that regard, and I think the more that we can help also advocate for the athletes at this meet and say, hey, like if you want to drop $500 and help an athlete or donate to the school so the athletes can go and help them out that way. I think there are a ton of opportunities, and I think especially at a collegiate level, there are donors and alumni who are excited to see their school and their athletes doing great things. So, chance to be on a national team, chance to represent the United States of America at an international competition. I think a lot of people would be willing to help out with something like that. So, um, I that's the less fun part about the more difficult part of this whole thing is it is funded individually. Um, but on the other hand, I mean, I knew I didn't have to think twice about it. I know I'm going because this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, and we hope that kids and coaches around the country see that.
The ad is for the nominations that closes March 8th. There we go. And
Yep.
coaches and athletes will be notified the week of March 9th, kind of through that 13th, of whether they've been selected as an alternate or not selected for the roster. And then after that, there'll be some follow-up meetings and still opportunities for them to either accept or decline that roster spot. So still some moving pieces. Our goal is to have that roster finalized by mid-April, just so everyone knows that they're going, knows what they're training for the summer. But I think that's the other big piece for athletes and coaches to know that they can still be nominated. And if they decide, actually this isn't for me, then they still have time to make that decision ultimately. But really that second week of March is what we're looking at for athletes and coaches to know when they know if they're going or maybe going.